Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my channel. Today's video I'm going to talk about my flight with my student Francesca over to Corona Airport. And today's video is special because we're going to explain how to fly to an uncontrolled airport. So we're taking off out of John Wayne Airport. That's a Class C airport. So we've got 4 different departures out of here. And let's watch here as Francesca takes off.
A little bit of right rudder, hold that yoke slightly back, push on the yoke, get that trim down, trim, trim.
So one thing I want to point out is if you notice on takeoff, that nose wheel was rotating. Sometimes when you take off, you'll feel the airplane vibrating and that nose wheel will be shaking, and a lot of students freak out because they don't know what that vibration is. They call the tower, declare an emergency, they think the engine's failing. It's actually that nose wheel that's spinning down, causing an imbalance as it spins, and you'll feel the airplane vibrate. So that's kind of one thing I wanted to point out.
There you go. Okay, there you go. I don't know if my noise cancelling's not working or what.
Key 536 Hotel, John Wayne Tower, rolling.
There it goes. God, it was so loud. So get that nose down, give me 75 knots on the nose.
Line up.
Use that trim if you need to.
Your left. Yeah.
I'm going to nitpick you on a lot of stuff, so I need you to put thick skin on, okay?
Okay,
but
as you should be.
Good. All right, go ahead and check on with SoCal whenever you're ready. So you're 1,200 climbing 3,000.
SoCal 786 Charlie Papa at 1,280 climbing 3,000.
November 786 Charlie Papa, SoCal first reason 1 nav, altitude at pilot's discretion.
Roger. Roger.
Roger, 6 Charlie Papa.
Let's turn left while I explain a couple things. Take me that way, over that ridge. Okay, so first off, we always report altitude in hundreds of feet. Look at your ball in this turn. Ball's way out of line. You know how I could tell right away? Because the butt's going like this. I could feel it.
Skyhawk 786 Charlie Papa, what's your requested altitude for Corona?
We'll take 3,500 if that works for you. We'll stay under your base leg for the ILS 6 Charlie Papa.
Now you'll notice that I'm on the radios quite frequently with Francesca in this. The reason is because we haven't flown actively for quite some time, and so we're just getting reacclimated to each other, and we're trying to figure out the rhythm and cadence of each other, and that's something that you and your instructor will figure out as well. As you first start with flight training lessons, you won't really know how to use the radios, and as you slowly get better and better and better, your instructor knows the level of skill that you're at with using radios, and he'll kind of wait for you to just take the call, versus when you haven't flown in a while and you're kind of rusty, and so the instructor might step in. Once they kind of see where you're at with things, they'll start kind of letting you take more and more of the workload over, which is what I'm doing with Francesca here.
Charlie Papa, Viewport climb approved.
Thank you. So one of the arrivals into John Wayne is called a KO4 arrival.
Okay.
And what they do is they have them come in over Ontario, which is right in front of you.
Right.
Have them fly over that ridge, and the intersection over that ridge called KO. They got to be pulled back to 180 knots and cross it at 5,000. That's a crossing restriction. And they turn a base leg and they follow this ridge until they call the airport in sight. And if we're not here, the controller will say clear for the visual approach. If they're here and we're here, the controller's not going to clear them for the visual because they're worried about us.
So what I did there was teach Francesca a lot of situational awareness about building a visual map in her head. So we have an arrival, as I explained in the video, we have a IFR arrival into John Wayne, and I was helping her understand why I chose the altitude that I did. The controller asked us, what altitude do you want? And I told the controller 3,500, and the reason I didn't let Francesca pick was because she hadn't yet been explained that if we would have chosen a higher altitude, let's say, 4,000, 5,000, the controller would have done one of two things. They would have said unable because I've got traffic coming into John Wayne over that ridge, or the controller would have probably given us deviations around a different path. So I explained to her how we picked 3,500 because that will keep us under the vectors for final for jets coming into John Wayne.
A little bit more power, a little bit more power, give me more power. Good, there you go. Now look at your runway, head on a swivel. Good, keep turning, flap 20, good. Let's go flaps 30.
Front traffic, Skyhawk 73113, turn.
Alright, so you're going to give me slow flight. I want 63 knots on final.
So we came in into Corona Airport, and we turned base, and we actually saw an aircraft that was in front of us real close in. So what I did was I had Francesca overshoot final approach intentionally to create some spacing between us and the aircraft in front of us. And when I had her turn final, I had her slow way back to keep that spacing on us. The aircraft in front of us was a light spores, a little bit slower. And I normally like to come in about maybe 65, 70 knots on approach, and I had her slow back to about 60 knots on approach to create that spacing.
Take your time, it's your runway.
Our after landing checklist pops up.
Okay, and visually check that they go up. Good.
Our mixture is
Being
lane.
that this is the first time Francesca's going into an uncontrolled airport, I wanted to take a little bit of the workload off of her and handle the radios for her so she could focus just on her flying. On the next video that I do, or on the next flight I'll do with her going into an uncontrolled airport, I'm going to let her handle most of the workload just to kind of see how she handles it and increase the stress level on her.
Our transponder, verify G&D mode.
So ground mode, so you go to transponder.
And then lights are.
You also go to
lights are on.
standby mode, that works. So see standby worked? That's the same thing as ground mode.
Okay, and then our beacon lights are on.
Good. So your plane, take me that way, we're going to go park, and then we're going to walk, do our stuff. Radio's rolling.
Corona traffic, 79er Golf.
Let me take you right here.
What was it?
Stay strongly.
Got the airplane. Alright, back a little bit.
Corona traffic, 79er Golf, final.
A little bit more power.
Corona.
It's really important you always visually check that the flaps go up and not just go off the checklist, because if you're not looking at the flaps and you pull that handle up and the flap motor fails, how would you ever know the flaps didn't go up unless you look at them? We've had students before that won't follow the checklist. They'll follow the checklist, but they won't look at the flaps visually. They'll go to try to take off. The tower will call them and say, hey, your flaps are all the way down. Check them out.
Engine instruments in green. Airspeed's alive.
Little right rudder. Push the nose down, way too slow. 50
Alright.
knots on that rotation. Get that nose down. There you go.
Corona traffic, light sport is base 25 Corona.
There you go.
Oh, this place is sick.
This place is deadly.
Really?
Where are you going to land if you lose an engine right now? No. Easy,
oh my God.
easy. Johnny's going to throw up back there. So keep that nose down. Stop looking at your instruments. Look out.
Traffic system 487 Golf, left hand.
SoCal 971, or
Number 6 Charlie Papa, radar contact. Proceed towards El Toro for signal peak inbound. Squawk 0270.
There's a couple of arrival paths, actually several arrival corridors going into John Wayne. One of them's Huntington Pier, one of them's Miles Square Park, and then one of them is El Toro. And this is just the sequence of the aircraft arriving into John Wayne, because we have a lot of aircraft coming in and they don't want chaos at the airport. So right now we're over El Toro and we're heading towards what we call Signal Peak, an arrival path into John Wayne. And then they're going to set us up for a base leg entry into 20 left. You'll notice we're coming in super high, which is standard procedure for John Wayne to avoid wake turbulence at this airport. Wake turbulence is wicked at this airport. If you're not following procedures, you can end up in pretty bad shape. People in the past have crashed at this airport because of wake turbulence and ended up losing their lives. So it's something we take pretty seriously at this airport.
Number 6 Charlie Papa, proceed direct signal peak and contact ground tower 126.8.
Continuing signal peak 126.8, 6 Charlie Papa.
Turn right, aviate first, navigate second, communicate last.
Southwest 2769, ascend and maintain 5,200.
5,200.
All the way to the radio. Okay, power back for me. Give me about 1,600 RPM. Flaps 10. And then bank, slowly bank to the left. Good. Yeah, right there. It's your airplane, okay?
Okay.
Keep that turn going, because you don't want to overshoot. Goes down. If you're at idle power, you got to keep the nose coming down.
Track 364 to maintain visual separation, caution weight turbulence, center T0 left, cleared for the...
Goes down. All the way till you get close to the ground, and then give me a flare down here.
Spirit Wings 2907 contact.
Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please click the like button. It really helps my channel out. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for the newest content I'm going to be releasing here with Francesca coming up. Thanks guys.